Have you ever wondered what makes foreplay truly unforgettable? Not just the usual stuff, but those little moments and moves that stick with him long after. Today, I'm going to share 5 irresistible foreplay ideas that will change the way you connect, and trust me, he'll never forget them. So stay with me, because these aren't just tips, they're game changers. Number 1. Foreplay is emotional, not just physical. Now this is where most people get it wrong, thinking that foreplay is all about the touching, the kissing, or the physical lead up to what comes next. But here's the thing, the moments that truly stay with him aren't just about the mechanics of it all. They're about how you make him feel. That electric charge that hits before your lips even meet. That flutter in his chest when your eyes lock. That subtle tension built up through a glance or a soft word whispered just right. That's the magic of emotional foreplay. When you focus on the emotional side, you're tapping into something deeper. You're creating anticipation and connection that goes beyond the skin. Think about it. How many times have you remembered a moment not just because of what physically happened, but because of the way someone made you feel? Safe, desired, wanted, or even a little bit nervous in a good way. That's the kind of feeling that turns foreplay into something unforgettable. It starts with the way you communicate, both verbally and non-verbally, the tone of your voice, the way your eyes sparkle when you look at him, the tiny, teasing smiles you throw his way. These are all subtle emotional cues that tell him you're fully present and engaged. It's not just about getting him ready, it's about inviting him in. You want him to feel like he's the only person in the room, like you're sharing something intimate just between the two of you, and that emotional intimacy can create a kind of vulnerability and trust that physical touch alone just can't reach. And here's a secret. Emotional foreplay builds anticipation like nothing else. It's that delicious tension that lingers and grows the longer you play with it. When you're mentally connected, physically drawn to each other, but not rushing forward, it creates this heady cocktail of excitement and desire that's almost impossible to forget. The more you slow down and savor those moments, a lingering look, a slow smile, a whispered word, the more electric the eventual touch becomes. There's also an element of understanding him on an emotional level, knowing what makes him feel seen and appreciated, what kinds of attention really light up his eyes. Maybe it's a compliment that taps into something he's proud of, or a gentle touch on the arm that feels reassuring and intimate. When you tune in and respond emotionally, you're telling him, I see you, I get you. And that's incredibly powerful. It's not just physical pleasure he'll remember, it's feeling truly connected, truly known. This emotional foreplay is also about creating a space where both of you can relax and be yourselves, without pressure or expectation. When he feels safe and wanted emotionally, it's easier for him to let go physically too, so it's really a two-way street. Your emotional connection creates the perfect foundation for the physical experience to be that much more intense, meaningful, and memorable. So, if you want to leave an impression that lasts, don't rush into the physical stuff or treat foreplay like a checklist. Instead, lean into the emotional side. Make eye contact that lingers. Speak softly, with intention. Use your body language to invite him in, not just physically, but emotionally. Build a vibe that says, I'm here with you and I want you. When you do that, you're not just turning up the heat. You're creating a moment he'll carry with him long after. Remember, it's the anticipation, the emotional energy, the feeling of being truly wanted and understood that makes foreplay irresistible. When you master that, everything else falls into place naturally. And believe me, he'll never forget it. Number 2, confidence is the ultimate turn-on. This might sound simple, but it's honestly one of the most powerful tools you have when it comes to foreplay, and really when it comes to attraction in general. Confidence isn't about being perfect or having everything figured out. It's about owning who you are, knowing your worth, and showing up fully without hesitation or doubt. When you bring that energy into the room, into the moment, it's magnetic. It pulls him in a way that nothing else can. Think about the times you've been around someone who just knows themselves. Someone who moves through the world with a quiet certainty. You notice it right away, don't you? There's a kind of spark in their eyes, a relaxed ease in their body language, and it makes you want to lean in, to be closer, to see what's really going on beneath that surface. That's exactly what confidence does in foreplay. It creates an irresistible pull because it tells him you're comfortable in your own skin and that you want to share that with him. Confidence in foreplay isn't about demanding attention or trying to impress. It's much subtler than that. It's about being present with him and expressing what you want without apology or second guessing. When you touch him, speak to him, or look at him with confidence, it sends a clear message. You know your value, and you're not afraid to show desire. That kind of energy is incredibly attractive because it creates a space where he can feel desired too, without feeling like he has to perform or prove himself. You're inviting him in with ease, and that changes the entire dynamic. Another key piece of confidence is the way you own your sexuality. Too often, people think foreplay is something to be shy or nervous about, but confidence means flipping that script. It's about embracing your own pleasure and desire openly. When you show that you enjoy yourself, that you're curious and playful, it turns the experience into a shared adventure instead of a one-sided event. Men pick up on that immediately. The way you express your desire, the way you react to touch or to his voice. It's not just about what you do, it's about how you feel. And that feeling is contagious. Confidence also means knowing your boundaries and feeling free to communicate them. When you're secure enough to say what you like and don't like, or to guide the moment gently but clearly, it adds a layer of authenticity and trust that makes the entire experience richer. It's not about being rigid or demanding, but about being honest and owning your space. That kind of confidence makes him feel respected and valued because he sees you're not just going through the motions, you're fully engaged and present. Let's also talk about the power of playful teasing, and that's a huge confidence move. When you're comfortable enough to tease him with a smile, a whispered word, or a lingering touch, it creates a spark that's impossible to ignore. It shows you're in control of the moment and enjoying yourself, and it invites him to lean in and match your energy. The back and forth of playful foreplay keeps things exciting and unpredictable. And confidence is what lets you lead that dance without feeling self-conscious. Even when things don't go perfectly, confidence is what helps you keep the mood light and fun. If a touch isn't quite right, or a moment feels awkward, someone with confidence will laugh it off or turn it into a joke. That ease takes the pressure off and keeps the connection strong. It's the difference between a moment feeling stiff or forced and feeling natural and electric. So, if you want to create foreplay he'll never forget, start with your mindset. Show up with confidence, not arrogance, not bravado, but a genuine belief in yourself and what you bring to the experience. That energy will make him want to be close to you, will make him feel lucky to be the one sharing that connection, and will create memories that last, because they're wrapped in that undeniable vibe you give off. Confidence isn't something you fake, it's something you cultivate. By tuning into what makes you feel good, by being present in the moment, and by letting go of any need for approval. When you do that, foreplay stops being just a physical act and becomes a powerful dance of connection, desire, and mutual enjoyment. something he'll never forget. Number 3, surprise and variety create lasting memories. This is such an important piece of the puzzle when it comes to foreplay that sticks with him long after the moment ends. You see, humans are wired to remember what breaks the routine, what jolts us out of the predictable patterns we live in. When it comes to intimacy, if you fall into the same rhythm every single time, it becomes easy to forget. Easy to lose that spark, but throw in a little surprise, a little twist, and suddenly the experience becomes unforgettable. What does surprise in foreplay really mean? It doesn't have to be something over the top or complicated. Sometimes the smallest changes can have the biggest impact. It can be a new way of touching, a playful whisper in his ear when he least expects it, or even a change in your usual rhythm. Slow down when he expects fast, speed up when he expects slow. These unexpected shifts keep his brain engaged, making the moment more intense and memorable. He's not just physically turned on, he's mentally hooked. Variety also plays a huge role here. The human brain craves novelty, and the same old moves, the same old touches eventually lose their power. By mixing things up, trying new sensations, exploring different parts of his body, or even switching up the setting, you create a dynamic that feels alive and exciting. Maybe one night you use feather-like touches, the next night a firmer grip. Maybe you incorporate playful teasing with your words, or maybe you change the lighting to something more intimate. Each variation adds a new layer to the experience and keeps him curious, eager for what comes next. The beauty of surprise and variety is that it shows you're engaged and attentive. When you take the time to explore new ways to connect, it tells him you care about making the experience special, that it's not just about going through the motions, but about sharing something unique and memorable with him. And that kind of attention is something he won't forget. Another thing about surprise is that it taps into anticipation. When he doesn't quite know what you're going to do next, his senses heighten. That anticipation makes every touch, every look, every whisper more electric. It's that delicious tension that builds up and keeps him hooked. You're playing with his mind as much as his body, and that's a powerful combo. Surprise can also come from your energy and attitude. Maybe one night you're soft and sensual. The next you bring a bit of playful mischief. That shift in mood keeps things fresh and exciting. It's not just about what you do physically, but how you make him feel emotionally. When you bring variety into your energy, it keeps him guessing and wanting more. He won't just remember your hands or lips, he'll remember the whole experience, the vibe, the connection, the thrill of not knowing exactly what's coming next. It's important to note that surprise and variety don't mean you have to be someone you're not, or do something uncomfortable. It's about being creative within your comfort zone and expressing your authentic self in different ways. Even small changes can feel new and exciting if they come from a genuine place. And that authenticity makes the surprise even more powerful because he senses that you're fully present and engaged. So, to make foreplay truly unforgettable, think beyond the expected. Keep things playful, curious, and unpredictable. Don't be afraid to experiment with new sensations, new rhythms, or new expressions of desire. When you bring that element of surprise and variety, you're not only making the moment more exciting, you're creating memories that stick. Moments he'll look back on and smile because they felt electric, fresh, and deeply connected. Remember, it's the unexpected, the different, the out of the ordinary that lights up his mind and body in ways routine never can. When you master that, you become not just someone he's attracted to physically, but someone he's fascinated by emotionally and mentally, someone he'll never forget. Number 4, foreplay can start long before the bedroom. This is a game changer, and it's something a lot of people don't realize. Most people think foreplay is what happens in the moment, right there on the bed or on the couch or wherever the physical part of things takes place. But the truth is, foreplay begins way before you even get close. It's the build-up, the teasing, the little sparks you send throughout the day that keep the fire burning and make the moment when you're finally together feel electric. Imagine this, a simple text message during the afternoon, something playful, maybe a little flirty, that hints at what's to come. It's not about being explicit or over the top. It's about planting a seed in his mind, making him think about you, making him feel desired and noticed. Those little nudges create anticipation, and anticipation is one of the most powerful tools in foreplay. When you're both thinking about each other, feeling that pull, the eventual physical connection feels so much more intense because the groundwork is already laid. Foreplay in public or outside the bedroom can be as subtle as a lingering glance from across the room, a touch on his arm when no one's looking, or a whispered word in his ear when you're in the middle of a conversation. These small moments add up and create a kind of undercurrent of desire that builds naturally. It's like you're sending him signals saying, "I'm thinking about you, I want you," without needing to say it outright. And that makes the anticipation sweeter, the eventual closeness more electric. What's also amazing about starting foreplay early is how it lets you build emotional connection along the way. When you flirt, tease, and engage with intention throughout the day, you're creating a mental space where desire can grow. It's not rushed, it's not pressured, it's slow and deliberate. That slow build makes everything that happens later feel deeper and more meaningful. You're not just jumping into things, you're savoring the experience from the very start. Another reason this early foreplay is so effective is that it keeps desire alive even when you're apart. Long-distance couples know this well. A well-timed message, a suggestive photo, or a thoughtful voice note can make all the difference because it keeps the connection alive and the desire burning. But even when you're physically close, these little moments of foreplay during the day can make you both feel more connected and excited to be together later. Starting foreplay before the bedroom also helps reduce any pressure or nervousness. Instead of trying to create the whole experience in one moment, you're spreading it out. You give yourselves time to relax, to feel wanted, and to build trust. By the time you get to the bedroom, it feels natural, easy, and full of anticipation rather than rushed or forced. It's important to remember that this kind of foreplay is about intention and presence. It's about making a conscious choice to connect and tease throughout the day, not just when it's time for intimacy. When you do that, you create a vibe that says you're engaged, that you're thinking about him, and that you want him. And those feelings are incredibly powerful. So, if you want to make foreplay truly unforgettable, start thinking beyond the bedroom. Use the moments you have during the day to build excitement and connection. Send a message that makes him smile, touch him in a way that catches him off guard in a good way, or simply hold his gaze a little longer than usual. These little sparks will grow into a flame that makes the time you spend together feel electric, meaningful, and unforgettable. In the end, foreplay isn't just a physical act, it's a dance of connection, anticipation, and desire that starts long before the sheets. When you master that, you don't just have great sex, you create moments he'll remember and crave again and again and again. Number 5, your pleasure is part of the turn-on. This might be one of the most overlooked but powerful aspects of foreplay, and it's something that can change everything. Often, there's this idea that foreplay is about making him feel good, about building him up or getting him ready. And yes, that's part of it. But here's the secret. When you show genuine pleasure, when you express what you like and enjoy, it lights a fire that he can't resist. It's contagious, magnetic, and unforgettable. Think about it for a second. Have you ever been with someone who clearly enjoys themselves, who's present and expressive about what feels good? That kind of energy is electric. It tells him that this isn't just a performance, that you're really there, really engaged, really feeling it. When you lean into your own pleasure, it creates a powerful feedback loop. He feels your desire, and that makes him want to give even more. It's not just physical, it's emotional and deeply connected. Showing your pleasure is about being honest and present in the moment. It means responding to what he does, letting him know when something feels good, and not being afraid to guide him gently if you want something different. That openness creates a sense of trust and communication that turns foreplay into a shared experience rather than a one-sided effort. He'll remember how you made him feel like he was really making you feel good, and that feeling is incredibly rewarding. And when you express pleasure, it doesn't have to be loud or exaggerated. Sometimes the smallest sigh, the softest moan, or a look that says yes can speak volumes. It's those subtle signals that build intimacy and excitement. And the more you show that you're enjoying yourself, the more confident he'll feel. Confidence in a partner is a huge turn on, and when he sees you owning your pleasure, it makes him feel more connected and valued. Another important part of this is allowing yourself to explore what you like without judgment. Foreplay isn't just about his pleasure, it's a two-way street. When you're curious about what excites you and you share that with him, it opens up new possibilities and keeps things fresh and exciting. This kind of mutual exploration strengthens your connection and makes the whole experience more memorable because it's uniquely yours. The energy you bring when you're focused on your own pleasure changes the entire dynamic. Instead of pressure or expectation, there's joy, curiosity, and fun. It's playful, spontaneous, and full of life, and that vibe is incredibly attractive because it invites him to relax and enjoy himself too. When you both feel free to express what you want and enjoy, a foreplay becomes a dance, a give and take that keeps you both engaged and connected. Your pleasure also ties into how you communicate desire. When you show him that you want him, that you're turned on by his touch or his words, it boosts his confidence and makes the experience more intense for both of you. Desire is contagious, and when you openly express yours, it encourages him to express his. That mutual exchange is what makes foreplay truly unforgettable. It's not just about physical touch, but about sharing and amplifying each other's desire. Finally, embracing your pleasure helps you feel more empowered. When you're in tune with your body and your desires, you're not just a passive participant, you're an active creator of the experience. That empowerment changes the energy between you and makes the connection deeper and more exciting. He'll sense that energy and be drawn to it because it's authentic and alive. So if you want to create foreplay he'll never forget, start by tuning into yourself. Explore what feels good. Express your pleasure openly and honestly, and let him see how much you enjoy the moment. When you do that, you don't just turn up the heat. You create a connection that's electric, memorable, and deeply satisfying for both of you. Your pleasure isn't just part of foreplay. It's the spark that makes everything else come alive. So, to wrap it all up, unforgettable foreplay isn't just about what happens in the moment. It's about the whole experience you create together. It's about connecting emotionally, showing up with real confidence, keeping things fresh and surprising, building anticipation long before you're physically close, and embracing your own pleasure fully and openly. When you combine all of these elements, you create a powerful, magnetic energy that pulls him in and leaves a lasting impression. Foreplay becomes more than just a prelude. It becomes a shared dance of desire, connection, and excitement that he'll remember long after. The truth is, it's the feeling you create, the way you make him feel wanted and seen, and the genuine pleasure you express that make the moments irresistible. So, don't rush, don't hold back, and don't just go through the motions. Bring your full self to the experience and watch how unforgettable it becomes for both of you.